good to be back after COVID, god damn it. Man. Well, I cussed a lot, so if that bothers you, fuck you, right? Hey, been to one of my shows, haven't you? Let's get a recap here. Okay, so far we've heard that Bali's vagina looks like dog lips. I'm never going to look at another dog the same way without thinking about your vagina. Celeste, I hope that clown fucked you silly. Okay. Maggie, scissoring isn't a fucking thing. It should never be a thing. It's very impersonal. But if I had a name for it, I'd call it bumping uglies, okay? It is basically what it is. And the whole schematics of that deal, if you don't line that up right, like if one of you's just in the wrong direction, clitorises aren't even touching. One of them's down by your butthole, and that just doesn't work. So, fuck that shit. And you know what? We're talking about dill pickle, cream cheese, ham thing. I just opened a bar next to Picklegate up the street. So if that's a lesbian thing, I guess there's two of them on the block. Hey, welcome to Moline. Diversity. The bust a nut thing, really? Right now there's a third-year med student that's busting mine up and checking them out, I suppose. They're in a jar and some formaldehyde up in Iowa City. Now, you know that whole story about the cock cutting, she's gone. But anyway, it's certainly the whole time all I can think of is cock-a-noodling do. I thought that was pretty funny. Tori talked about her V card. I've lost mine 3 times now. This last round didn't take long. Talking about vibrators too. You know what? Here's a little trick, folks. Those expensive vibrators you buy out there, this is what you do. You order them off Amazon, okay? Keep it for about a week and say, shit doesn't work like it said in the description. I'd like to send it back and get my money. They will automatically tell you, keep the vibrator, but just send the money. They don't want it back. They know where it's been. Okay? That's how you get a free vibe, alright? Alright, so we got through that. That was the recap. This is the LGBTQIXA. Stop adding fucking letters to that goddamn thing. You're confusing people. That's what you're doing. I mean, Jesus, if that was the clue on Wheel of Fortune, as long as you didn't land on bankrupt or lose a turn, you just call a fucking letter. I'll take a C. There's 3 of them up there. Is it LGBTQIXA? Fuck that shit. We have gotten so greedy, we're about to take numbers next. I'm one sexual. What the fuck is one sexual? I'm just me and myself. Use my proper pronouns, too. We've even got greedy. We've added more colors to the rainbow flag. Last time I looked at a rainbow, a lot of those fucking colors weren't even in it. I mean, that's pretty greedy and ballsy there. Now, during COVID, we had a brief time here, so I wrote a lot of new stuff. But over that time, I had to change some of my old material because things change. And you know, we're in the Biden administration, we're in the Trump administration while a lot of this was being written. And what a horrible 4 years, although that last week was a riot. Yes. Pride Month just ended, into June there. I always think of Pride Month as this. When we go through Pride Month, every corporate sponsor is pro-Pride. But like on July 1st, it's like that $50 hooker you kicked out on the side of the curb and said, hey, I'll see you the next time through. They don't pay attention to us for another year. That's how I look at that. So you're going, okay, the lady up front's got a deep voice, so let me just explain this. I have gender dysphoria, which you all know is transgender, and I later found out that I was also intersex on top of it, so I'm already clicking off 6 or 7 letters in that fucking anonym. And, but the way I'm going to explain this to you, it's like a genie in a bottle. Michelle was this genie trapped in a bottle all my life. And there was nothing wrong with that lamp or that bottle. It was a pretty lamp. It was a nice lamp. Beautiful lamp. But inside was this genie always looking to get out. Now, I'm not the Robin Williams genie, that big blue gay genie from Disney movies, nor was I Dream a Genie. I'm more like that Christine Aguilera dirty bitch in a bottle. That's who I am right here. Okay? Now, I'm a trans lesbian. So that means I became a woman and I like women still. Now you ask, what's the difference though what's the difference between a trans lesbian and a regular lesbian? Well, at one certain point in my life, it was, regular lesbian, trans lesbian. I was a trans lesbian, which means parts included, regular lesbians, parts sold separately. So now I'm in the parts sold separately part of it, which is pretty good because you can buy a dick these days. I'm sorry, man, but you guys have been fucking shit up, and women like women, and you know what? You can buy a dick. It's a lot less hassle. I mean, I got a bag of them, which is kind of funny because now I got a bag of dicks. I like choking a bag of dicks. What? I have a whole drawer full of them next to my bed. Choked on them. Different colors, different sizes, different speeds. Some of them aren't even dicks. Some of them just have this little suction cup that blows hot air on your pussy. I don't know what that's about, but it feels amazing. So we just went through Pride Month, and I was at a Pride Fest, and there were some protesters out front, and they always cease to amaze me. I mean, like, if you're not accepted to the LGBT community, fucking don't get your COVID shot and just pass away. I don't give a fuck. Get on the bandwagon, all right? We got legalized marriage and we've got rights, and it's only going to get better for us under this administration. But I hear this line all the time. They're like, you're going to go to hell because anal sex is wrong. And I'm like, whoa. I'm going to argue with you on this point, okay? For this reason and this reason only. If anal sex was so wrong that God said that you were going to be condemned, why do you put a G-spot in my butthole? Seriously, because that's twice now he's tempted us with something. It was that apple at first. I mean, here's an apple. It's a delicious fruit. He puts it on a tree and he tells you you're not supposed to eat it. Now, he could have put that tree anywhere. He could have put it in the Mojave Desert on top of Mount Everest. No, he puts it right in the middle of fucking town. And then there's this snake that's up in there, and this snake's all tempting us. Eat the apple, it's delicious, you should do it, and stuff like that. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, that apple is delicious, and I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes in this motherfucking tree. You condescending bitch, I'm eating that thing, okay? God was a prick on that one, and I'm gonna stick to that. Now, the other thing I heard, I was walking through Pride, and somebody yelled some slur, I don't even remember what it was, and they go, you can suck my dick. And I'm like, dude, do you hear what you just said? I mean, you're the one asking me to suck your dick, and you're calling me queer? I mean, come on. Seriously, where's the irony in that one? Suck my dick, you're a fag. Dude, you asked me to suck your dick. That typically would say that you're a fag. That one always baffles me. Here's the thing that happened last night. I was talking to this young lady, and she literally asked me this question. She said, do you still have a penis? And I'm like, well, that's a good lead-off question. Who asked that? Hey, I just gotta ask, do you have a penis? No, but she didn't even use the word penis. She said, I think it was dick. I think it might have been dick. I'm like, the proper term is penis, or she might even said pee-pee, I don't know. I'm like, that's what alcohol does to you. And I had to explain to her that, no, I don't. I went through the surgery, and then I got into this deal. I call it, it's like I guess the parallel is like the Passion of Christ, my last 3 days with my penis. And we had this deep conversation, me and my dick at that time. And my dick was like, what's going on here? And I'm like, well, you're going to go somewhere else. And he's like, wait. We've been friends since grade school. We had pet names and stuff. We even had this special handshake we did on a daily basis. And now you're just going to get rid of me? And I'm like, yeah, well, you remember that one time you failed me in college? He goes, that ain't my fucking fault. You were drunk. I did what I had to do. And I'm like, yeah, well, now it's time to go. So as I'm telling her this, she kind of lightened up a little bit, and it made it a lot smoother, because hey, that's just a weird question you would even ask anybody. But then as I was listening to her and she said pee-pee and stuff like that, and then she had some little pet names, I'm thinking, how many in here, guys first, how many have named your junk? Raise your hands. You got a pet name for your junk? Everybody, all the guys, raise your hands. You got it. Well, I named mine at one time. All the women, you got a name for it? Women, raise your hands. Have you named your vagina? Thank you. Yeah, it's a thing. I named mine Christmas. Why? Christmas? Because every day is Toys for Twats. Toys for Twats, folks. Think about it. Thank you, Kamali. Man. Now, I consider myself a lipstick lesbian, which means I like fashion and hair and makeup and stuff like that, which is the exact opposite of like a butch lesbian. I don't like flannel, and I don't like folk music. That's not my thing. Now, I asked, how many women out here are actually lesbians? Let me ask that first. Or who's a lesbian in here? I should ask that first. Whoa! Always one fucking guy in the back. I'm a lesbian. I like eating vagina. No, dude, because if you were a lesbian, there wouldn't be any other lesbians, because you're doing it all fucking wrong. You don't got the mechanics right down there. So I'm going to give you a little story, and I hope that you take this story home the next time that you are in that vicinity. You'll pay attention. It's called Jonah and the Whale. Now, Jonah's this bald-headed guy that sits in a boat right about here, okay? Now, the whale's underneath it. And if you pay attention to Jonah in the boat, you're going to do just fine. But if you're inside the belly of that fucking whale digging around like you're looking for the last orange Skittle at the bottom of the bag, you're doing it all wrong, okay?
Did you already do your set?
Nobody's even getting that. Because you're all embarrassed that that's what you end up doing. Okay, so, now, dating and lesbians. How do I, when I go out on a date with a lesbian, and I always take them to Buffalo Wild Wings. And this will tell me whether they're a keeper or not a keeper. And I always order the wings bone in. And I swear to God, if one of those ends up in the plate and the meat's still in the middle of those two bones, that's not a keeper. No. If that bone is completely clean and the meat's missing out in the middle, that one's a winner, okay? Same with the guys. Remember that. That might be the test. Your girlfriend takes you out for wings, she's watching the bones. If the meat's missing, you're golden, okay? I just got a cat over COVID. Hey, in the back. I got a cat during COVID, as I call a lesbian starter kit. I named her Leslie Jones, one of my favorite comedians. But the irony in that one is it's fun to be in the house and be like, Leslie Jones, quit licking yourself. That's disgusting. Leslie Jones, get off the countertops. You know what? My cat, Leslie Jones. Nail salons. Now, I don't have my nails done because I've been working a lot, but normally when I get them done, I always go in and I have them kind of custom where I get only 8 of the fingers done. I always leave these 2 not done. And women will understand why I leave these 2 undone. But the little Asian girl that's doing my nails is always kind of critiquing me like, why you got no girlfriend? I'm like, because you keep trying to put a full set of 10 nails on me. That's why I ain't got no girlfriend. And she's always got some type of criticism going on, but it's always in a language that I don't understand. But I know they're talking about me. And because you can kind of see them snickering and laughing back and forth, and this is my favorite thing to do. I wear like a short little dress like this, and while they're doing my feet, I do that Sharon Stone thing. She has silly messes with her mind. I cross the legs, she sees a little gander, she's like, oh, and I'm not even going to make fun of them, but you know what I'm saying. And I know she's just saying, I just saw that girl's vagina. We had it all wrong. you know, because I'm trying to explain what went through with the transformation and, you know, going from male to female and stuff. I'm like, think of it this way. Before I went through it, I was kind of like Ben Affleck. Now I kind of feel like I'm like J-Lo. So technically, I am the living proof of Benifer right here. Benifer. Stay with me, folks. I know it's been a long night. Dating is difficult, you know, kind of touched on that. I dated a bi girl recently. For the joke's sake, we'll call her Kaylee, because that was her fucking name. And Kaylee was fine for about a month, but eventually Kaylee decided that she liked the penis better than the vagina. Which is okay if that's how you're going into it. But she picked a team. And once you're on a team and you have a contract on that team, you stay on that team. But not this girl. It's kind of like Reservoir Dogs in that Mr. Pink scene where he's like talking about Madonna. He's like, dick, 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 dick. The guy goes, how much dick? He goes, a lot. This is that girl. I mean, not only was she playing on my team, she's playing on the farm league, she's playing AAA ball, AA ball, Little League, the umpires, the ground crew, the guys selling beer and hot dogs up in the stage, the Uber driver on the way home. I'm like, come on. So bi girls and I've got a little beef with right now. So if you're a bi girl and you pick a team, stay on that team until you both are in agreement that that shouldn't happen. I was out the other night again, because I'm a drunk, I guess. I don't know. And I was talking to this young girl, and this other girl that I had been talking to a couple weeks forward comes into the bar, and she sees me talking to that girl, and she comes over and kind of puts herself in between us two and starts talking. And I'm thinking to myself, in the dude's world, that's what they call cock blocking. But they don't have a word for women that associates with cock blocking. So I came up with one, ladies. So when your girlfriend comes up on you and she interrupts you while you're talking to somebody, even if it's a dude, I'm calling it clitorference. Did that bitch just run clitorference on me? What the fuck? Oh. We're talking about dating. Has anybody been on dating sites? It seems like there's a new one. Like today, I just saw Geeks for Geeks. It's just a site where, you know, people who are nerds can meet up with other nerds. And I'm like, they're really niche marketing their dating sites instead. But we all know Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, OkCupid, Zeus, Hinge. Did I say that one? It's difficult when you're a woman in that world because there's multiple sites. Other than Bumble that lets the women make the first move, the rest of them are hard to navigate through. Now guys, especially gay guys, they got it easy. They got this site called Grindr. And dude, it's not even a dating site. You just go on there and you like swipe left and next thing you know you get a match because everybody's available on that site. Now, I don't have Grindr for that reason because I don't like men. But I do have Grindr on my phone for this reason and this reason only. Occasionally there's a family funeral or family reunion or whatnot. And it's always nice to see if your cousin Billy really is gay. It's like, I knew it. Okay, I have an allergic reaction to mushrooms. I can't eat them. My friends back there know that. If I eat them, I have to jam an EpiPen in my leg and I don't die, okay? But I dated a few girls recently. One of them was allergic to strawberry, another one to milk. They all have EpiPens, which I kind of find funny because most lesbians are only allergic to nuts. Yeah. We're almost getting there, folks. Lesbians just got a new endorsement from Ritz Crackers. And you wonder why. Well, that seems like a weird thing for lesbians to endorse. But it's not, because one's a snap cracker and the other one's a crack snapper. Yeah. I heard this one the other day. This is a moaner, okay? So I expect good moans on this one. What's good on pie but not on a lesbian? Crust. Why do lesbians like bowling? Just one more thing to get 3 fingers in. Yeah. This is like Laffy Taffy jokes. These are the best jokes, are they not? Laffy Taffy jokes. You can't go wrong with it. I'd die if that was on a Laffy Taffy joke. Mara, what does this mean? We'll explain it to you in 10 more years, okay? I experienced a lesbian three-way. You ask for the lesbian three-way. Lesbians are going to know this one. Lesbian three-way is this. I had a lesbian girlfriend, I came home, and the next thing you know, that lesbian girlfriend and two of her friends drove up in a U-Haul and started unpacking her shit into my house. That's a lesbian three-way. Anybody ever take those Facebook polls? Yeah. I had one last year during COVID of all time. Said, you're going to be in a relationship this year. And I'm like, during COVID? Okay, that's a stretch. And it says, and you're going to have children. Which I thought was kind of weird because I missed my period for the last 562 months. But I'm like, okay, I suppose. Yeah. Wow. Surprise there. I'm going to leave it on this one. Recently I was at Von Bar. I'll just wait for you all to stop talking back there. All right, thank you. I went to Von Bar the other day and I was looking for some lesbian tennis shoes. Now, when I was a dude, I was a size 9.5. As a woman, I'm a size 11, which makes it very difficult to find because there's not many size 11s on the rack. But it is one place, ladies, is you do make 1/3 more than your male counterparts. That was a feminist joke. Come on, folks. But anyway, stay with me. I'm almost done. So I'm looking for these lesbian tennis shoes, and I'm going through the white, blue. I'm like, no, I want something with a little more pizzazz and color. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking the perfect lesbian tennis shoe is this. Something that has a long tongue, you can tie up real tight, and you can get off with one finger. And that is my set tonight, folks. Thank you, Pomali. Thank you, folks. Once again, Michelle Royal, Kobe and Martini down the street. We will be doing some comedy down the road, too. I really appreciate you letting me